And here we are. Babies, I'm so sorry it's late. I'm sorry it wasn't sooner, but buckle up, buttercups, because you're about to have an hour of me. And we're going all the way down the rabbit hole, straight into the land of fuckery. We're gonna have some fun. But real quick, and I gotta put it out there, I would love for you guys to give me your reactions. So give me those stitches, those duets, take a clip, a snip, a snivel, a snavel, and show me your reactions to whatever it is I am doing or saying at that time. Now, I'm sure some of you are probably going, is she in her car wearing a seatbelt? Oh, you better believe it, Veronica. I damn sure am. Now, why am I in my car doing this? Buckled in ever so lovingly? Simple. Actually, I am on the side of the road. Safety. Why am I in my car? Quite simply, there is no privacy in my house. And in my house, there is my beloved Nana, who is a gentlewoman, who does not know the things that I got into and the things that I did during my teen years, which is where our story begins. Yes, my darlings, humble beginnings, humble beginnings. Was I always this way? No. As a child, I was quiet, calm, sensitive, slightly demure. And then at 15, and I actually do blame my descent into insanity on this. At the age of 15, I one day just snapped. Not in a violent outburst way, like 2020 is not looking for me, and Unsolved Mysteries does not need to come to my property. I'm not confessing nothing. But yes, one day at the tender age of 15, I just kind of went, I can't do it. I can't do it. There's too much up here. I can't do it. And I went a little hooky dook. But to my friends, some of my friends know my insanity at those teenage years. But to a lot of my friends, and to my grandmother and her friends, and several other spyful adults, I kept a lid on it until after the Gaither Gospel Hour. Because Nana clocked out after the Gaither Gospel Hour, and I clocked out. Right out my front door, or the window. And I decided that I was going to live life. When you're 15 and you make that kind of declaration and you decide that we're not going to say no to new experiences, you experience a lot. So much. Because where I live, it's the middle of podunk nowhere. During the winter months, the vacation homes are empty, the cabins are closed up, and it is boring. But during the summer months, when everybody's up and cabins are intermixing and intermingling, no one really asked questions about the barefoot blue jean wearing female in the bandana in the corner. But then you got sucked into the fun. You got sucked into the drama. And it was there that I discovered new experiences. And I was determined from that day on to, no matter what, just having fun. Whether it was running across a bridge naked while my friends cheered me and someone filmed me. Let's not Google that. Or if it was discovering that a pair of needle nose pliers actually do make the perfect redneck roach clips. I had fun. Now, was all of it legal fun? Probably not. I mean, honestly, you try waking up in a chicken coop 2 miles away from a party, wearing a rubber ducky shower curtain, there's a lot of questions. A lot. So many questions. But it's a thing, and we had fun. Whether it was mud wrestling in the backyard, riding four-wheeler through the state game lands, actually running from state game land rangers. DCNR, I do love you, and I do appreciate all you do. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Or maybe you're just daring yourself to go into that abandoned house and take a poke around, only to discover, in fact, it's not abandoned at all. No, that's a black bear in that corner sleeping, and you're doing all you can to keep your legs crisscrossed so you don't pee yourself on the way out of the abandoned cabin. Or maybe, just maybe, you forged your grandmother's signature on a school note, lied out your ass about whose house you were sleeping in, and found yourself in the wild outskirts of Philadelphia, smoking with some people that you don't even know. I mean, it's a thing. Or maybe, just maybe, you decided to pull the big one and you snuck out and you went on a road trip with 3 friends and you experienced Gay Pride Week up in New York. Listen, I had glitter in places that just should not exist. Have you ever gone pee? Okay? And there is more glitter on the toilet paper than there is wet. Wah! And then, of course, there's the experiences you have just chilling with some good-fashioned homegirls behind your garage at 3 o'clock in the morning, hallucinating deeply from the bag of mushrooms that got passed around. Listen, it's a thing. We all do it. We all have stupid, wild teenage years, okay? Don't judge me. I just might need some of your pee. Any takers on that one? Actually, that was how I made money in high school. I knew a couple people that had the old, nice ankle monitor on, and, every now and then they needed a little tinkle. $20 a condom. There you go. It was money. But I did have a job. Yes, I did. Yes, I worked at a restaurant. I think that is the biggest rite of passage in any teenage life. You work at an ice cream stand, a restaurant, a fast food joint. It's a thing. Now, while the boss was there, we were all very calm and quiet, and, we were obedient. When the boss wasn't there, we were using my braces and standing on top of a table with a radio so we could call into the radio station that we weren't supposed to be listening to. Yes, I was a brace face, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to about $30,000 of perfection. The only difference is my jaw is crooked, and that is something that will not be fixed. Because if my fat ass has to suck food through a straw for 8 months, someone's gonna die, okay? Because it doesn't matter how well you blend a Big Mac. It's just not the same. It's really not. But I also had the other rite of passage in the teen years. The bullies. Yes, I was never a stick girl. No, if you wanted to find a stick, you needed to go play in the woods. I was a thick cut Snickers. Delicious. Chewy. Can't really say chocolatey. The skin tone's not the right color. But I was a thick cut little Snickers. And I was pretty well picked on for it because, again, to keep my crazy identity sacred and safe, when I went to school, I played the girl. The naive little, I don't know, to keep people from being suspectful of me. Because although I love my Nana and I would never tell her an outright lie, honey, there's just some things you don't tell your Nana until she's on her deathbed. When you know for a fact the cane isn't going to come flying for your face. Or your ass. Or your head. But yes, bullies were a thing for me in high school. But that's okay, I still got mine. But then another rite of passage hit. And I realized that I could not date in my small hometown. Because my small little hometown has about 7 churches, 2 gas stations, no red lights, and 3 breeds of men. And you'll understand in a minute while I said 3 breeds of men. Because the very first thing that you will find in my hometown is hicks. Hicks by the plenty. The second kind of man that you will find in my hometown are the rednecks. Yes, there's more rednecks than you can shake a stick at. The third thing you will find in my hometown is the wannabe rapper punks. We'll touch on that. And the last breed that you will find in my hometown, remember there are only 3 breeds, is the genuine good guys. They were non-existent. They were as elusive as the Loch Ness Monster. It was a thing. Now, a lot of you are probably saying a hick and a redneck, they're the same thing. Any self-respecting girly in a small town can tell the difference between a hick and a redneck from about a mile away. But for those of you that cannot, we are about to take a journey into a documentary. Bear with me. The first thing we're going to look at, on today's dating world, we will be looking at the male hick, the imposing posture of the redneck, and how to spot them from a mile away. The first thing about the male hick that you must view is the type of vehicle that they use. Now, whereas the male redneck's truck is lifted up with natural chrome, no duct tape or spray paint, the male hick's truck will be a rusted piece of shit, low to the ground. Somewhere on the vehicle there will be duct tape, spray paint, and a pair of panties hanging from the rearview mirror. Now, if you're looking for a dateable hick, note the panties, because any taken male hick will have a pair of crusty panties dangling from their rearview mirror, because nothing says I am in a committed relationship like a pair of panties hanging from your mirror. And yes, when the windows are down in the summertime, you will smell the stench of chlamydia and crusted booty on the panties. But it is the only way the male hick can spread his plumage. Another thing about the male hick is you will see the blue jeans. Off-brand, of course. Possibly from Walmart. They may have been purchased at Target or the sale bin of the local Goodwill. They are faded, have stains and holes in them. But the biggest way to tell if you're dealing with a male hick is the bottom of the blue jean pant leg will be cut to give space to the boots that he wears. The male hick will also be wearing a t-shirt advertising some form of hunting equipment, possibly the local tackle bait store. More often than not, it'll be advertising the salty sea life. Because although the male hick has no idea about the ocean, sand, or the beach, the salty life is for him. As you travel up the body of the average male hick, you will note the hat that he covers his plumage with. Now, the hat is definitely a ball cap. It probably came from the local truck stop, possibly the quickie fill, and it'll have a slogan on it. Like, tell your boobs to stop looking at my eyes. This is my other hat. Your mama. Or my favorite hat, once worn by an ex-boyfriend, because I was a raving friggin' idiot, will say something like, Mickey D's and double D's for me. Now, the male hick will also have identifying marker features on his face. You will see tobacco juice stubble here, here, or here. He will never wipe it off, so when you go to kiss him, you get the remnants of his spittle on your own chin, leaving your grandmother to question if she actually has to pee test you. That was fun. The last thing that you will find on the male hick is a fish hook, because nothing says God, Mama, and Ford like a fish hook. But, like any imposter poser of the male redneck, the male hick wears the fish hook in the incorrect position, on the sides of the hat, or the left side of the hat. They say things like, hey y'all, and all y'alls, and they try so hard to be southern and be redneck the facade cracks, because at the end of the day, a hick cannot resist stale beer in the back of a truck. and the sensual smells of a backwoods cigar. Yes, when you're in a small town, you gotta watch for the hicks. You do. But then you have the upper crust, the evolved from the hick, the genteel of society, the male redneck. There is a big difference, and we're about to hit it. Are you ready? Now, most male rednecks are always in daddy's money truck. If daddy didn't buy the truck, it's not money. The truck is lifted, the chrome is polished, the paint is perfect, and the seats are leather. The underwear does not hang from the rearview mirror because any self-respecting male redneck keeps his girlfriend's panties in between his mattress and his box spring. We don't advertise that to mama. That is incorrect. Now, a male redneck will also have on Levi's, Wranglers, Abercrombie, or American Eagle, because again, if it ain't daddy's money, it ain't name brand. They will also always dress their best, ready to impress, at the local Sheets on a Friday night, where they take their girl out for a slushy and a corn dog, but not his corn dog, unless she's willing. The male redneck's t-shirt will always be white, freshly pressed, possibly with a flannel long-sleeved shirt over top, but always unbuttoned to show that scarlet white plumage, 'cause that first flash of white is what gets the girl's attention. Now, the male redneck, unlike the hick, will also wear a belt with a big old fancy belt buckle. Now, the belt buckle cannot be bigger than a dinner plate, but it should be used as a shield to cover up his balls, because every hick will try to come for a male redneck, usually with a kick to the testicular regions, leaving him unable to perform, in hopes that the redneck's girlfriend will see the masculineness of the hick and go immediately from the upper crust to the gutter trash. Also, the male redneck will be sporting either a baseball cap, name brand of course, or a cowboy hat, also name brand, specially made, custom fitted. And yeah, that fish hook is ever present, but every self-respecting redneck knows that the fish hook goes on the left side of the hat, because it is important to always have your left hand up in worship to the Lord, making sure that your mama doesn't know that your dick's been inside more girls than your doggies had puppies, because every self-respecting redneck has a hunting dog. And those were just two of the breeds of men in my hometown. And if you weren't careful, you ended up with a hick. And your social status went, and that was unacceptable. And of course, my dumbass fell for the hicks every time. But then there was that third breed of guy in my hometown, and it was the wannabe rapper skater boy special. And I'm pretty sure we have all heard the type of rappers that rhyme clock with Glock, sock, knock. Yeah, their rhymes are very Dr. Seussish, but you can always tell who they are, because the first thing you're going to see on the wannabe rapper boy skater boy special combo is the extra baggy wide leg jeans. And you know, they're they're trendy. They're hardcore. So, it's always going to be like this. Okay? And they're going to tell you all about the clock, running around with the Glock, getting on my dirty socks. I'm serious, it's a thing. Now, besides the baggy, way too wide-legged jeans, they're gonna have a skateboard in their hand. And 9 times out of 10, they're gonna be with a girl that kind of talks like this, because she's also going to become a trophy wife of this guy when he gets to be a huge ass rapper. Okay? Check the grill, sweetheart. All the wannabe boy rappers in small towns have a grill. And it can be cubic zirconium. One day it'll be diamonds. They also have that big ass gold chain with a medallion so big it looks like the clock on Flavor Flav. Okay? And the girls that are with them, they're always fighting and like catty because, oh my God, did you see what Little Miss Country Thing is wearing? I could never, because it's 19 below out and my booty shorts are fucking popping. Yeah, that was my hometown. Between the hick, the redneck, the wannabe skater boy, the fourth group was completely non-existent, and that was a good boy. Now, I dated the hick. I dated a hick. I dated several hicks. One was the cheater. It looked like a clown had gone into his car and began pulling thongs out of his rearview mirror. He kept the underwear as a trophy. And when you get into a truck for the first time with a man you are considering a relationship with, even though everyone says, oh my God, please no, and you see about a dozen thongs hanging from the rearview mirror, yeah, you messed up, sweetheart. Get out. Get out. And then I was with the wannabe rapper skater special boy combo. And he was the smacker around the beater. No was not a word he liked. In fact, his mommy still cut his meat, drew his bath, and his mommy still went in and scrubbed his back. A lot of questions and concerns about that. So one day, I was done with the rite of passage. I was done with the weird ass dates and the wannabes and just everything. I was done. My descent into madness and my newfound sense of freedom and debauchery was not going to be limited to my small town. Which is when I met a very elusive, can only be found in certain locations, fifth breed of man. The backwoods southern boy. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, even though I live in Pennsylvania, I decided we're going to go about 4 or 5 states away to find a compatible mate. In Tennessee. Now, if you have been raised and born and bred in the North, your entire life, let me tell you something. Going into the South is a complete and utter culture shock. Here is why. You go into most Southern gas stations, the backwood ones, and ask for a Pepsi, they're going to look at you and go, huh? A Pepsi. Where is your a Pepsi? I don't see Pepsi. Huh? A soda? Oh, you mean a Coke? No, I want a Pepsi. Well, that's what I said. You want a Coke? Yes, most foods and drinks have different names, and most of them have one name that rules them all. It's like the Ring. You walk into a gas station and you ask for, Doritos. Nope, they are not Doritos. One ring to rule them all. They are chips. You want tater chips. They over there. And then you have to walk through and attempt to find the bag you want. But if you get into the deep South, which my husband has taken me, you will find some backwoods gas stations that if you are not from the South, don't talk. My first excursion into this parallel universe, if you will, was when we stopped for drinks and gas on a little trip we were taking. Now I'm walking towards the gas station, just looking around, and this is nice. It is so beautiful. Look at this cute little log cabin of a gas station. It's got a porch swing. Look at that old-fashioned washing machine and the flowers flowing out of it. This is beautiful. And then I felt this. And for a minute, I damn near grabbed my rape whistle. But it was my husband. And he tells me, listen, this is a gas station. This is a backwoods gas station, okay? We get in here, you get what you want, you put it on the counter, I'll take care of it. You don't talk. Why can't I? You don't talk. Get what you want, put it on the counter, go back out to the truck, don't talk. Because you see, there are still some very die-hard Southern people who do firmly believe that the South is going to rise again, and you better get the hell out if you don't know the difference between y'all, y'alls, and you-alls. And it's very important, if you go down south, you do learn the difference between the y'alls, y'all, and you-alls. It is a very specific way of speaking. I will explain. Y'all could mean one or more people. You all could address an entire continent. All y'alls could be anything from one or more, like one or two people, to the entire globe. And if you use them out of context, any self-respecting Southerner is going to hear you, smell you, see you from 5 miles away, and you're either going to get the or the it is a thing. So there I am in this gas station, and I'm trying very hard to get what I need, put it on the counter, and not freak out. Because from the moment that I pushed open the door of the gas station and I stepped in, there were more dead things hanging on the walls, the rafters, and on the floor than there was live things in the store. Okay? I mean, the aquarium of guppies on the counter, although charming to look at, or maybe they were shiners or whatever the fish bait is, although charming to look at, was disturbing, sitting right next to a giant jar of pickled chicken feet, which was next to the pickled pig feet, which was next to the pickled eggs. And there was no lids on the jars. Or, maybe the thing that freaked me out the most and got my attention and made me go, oh, was the giant bullhead in a cooler by the counter next to the aquarium of fish and the feet and the eggs. I mean, just a whole ass cow head just in the cooler. And on top of the cooler, they were advertising all the different slices of deli meat you could have. So I was just trying to very quickly get what I needed, get it to the counter, put it down, and walk out. And I almost succeeded. Oh my God, you guys, I almost succeeded in pulling it off. And then this massive coon hound that, I can still smell it. I did not know that coon hounds have a natural funk that could make your eyes cross. Came up, looked at me, and then shoved his nose right into my crotch. And I jumped back. And I knocked into someone. And because I was raised politely, I immediately made and committed all 7 of the deadly sins and said, oh, wow, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to bump into you. And everything and everyone in that place stopped and turned their heads in that creepy, slow horror movie way that Target acquired. And from the back, all I can hear is my husband's resounding fuck. And sure enough, this very, very elderly gentleman with one tooth, and it was a snaggle tooth. It actually, stuck up right here, bulldog style. Looked at me, turned his head, spit a wad of tobacco juice into a slushy cup and went, you ain't from around here, is ya? And again, my ADHD went, oh, we're going to answer that question. Oh, no, sir, I'm not. I mean, the jowls on that man. The immediate, where you from? I can hear the rapid stomp, 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 stomp of my hunting boots heading right for me. My dumbass, oh, I'm from Pennsylvania. My name's Amanda. There's a Yankee in my store. I have never been like grabbed by the ass and the back of my neck and pushed out of a store so fast by someone who was concerned for my safety. You would have thought that entire damn building was on fire, the amount of force my husband put into throwing me out the front frickin' door. Now, I didn't get in trouble and I didn't get shot or shot at, but I got a lecture. I didn't realize that there are still some very diehard people that believe that the South will rise again and that my pedigree of person is unwelcomed. But now I know, which is why I adapted to a slight Southern accent. Just enough that if I say something, I will be left alone if we travel past the Mason-Dixon line again. Because quite frankly, I don't want to die yet. People, there is food I have not consumed. I don't want to die yet. But I digress again. We keep going off on these little crazy rants, Amanda. Do we take our medication today? I don't have medication. Anyway, but no, any self-respecting Southern man is an immediate charmer. And they like to charm their lady. And my husband, for his first forte into getting the pants off of me, took me camping under a starry southern sky by a lake. And I don't know if you have ever been sitting at a bonfire, an arm snuggled around you. You know, you do that cute little female wiggle and watching the sunset dip below the lake. Thousands of stars coming out. Yep, that's about all it took. My pants were off, awful quick. Shit, I think my pants came off faster than the time I sat in that fire ant nest and had ants in my no-no zones. Never sit in a fire ant nest, and if you're not sure if it's a fire ant nest, assume it's a fire ant nest. My delicates were so red and swollen for about a week. I was waddling around my house covered in Desitin wearing a pamper. It was beautiful. But anyway, there I am. We did our thing, the old bump. If this tent's quaking, don't come shaking, whatever. And we're sleeping, okay? And I woke up because I hear something unfamiliar to me. Now, I grew up in the wilds of northeastern Pennsylvania. People, I'm used to bears, I'm used to coyotes. I had it down pat, whatever. But there's a nose on the outside of the tent. And it's traveling across the tent. Now, I knew it was a nose because of the, I hear. Now, coyotes in Pennsylvania are small, scrawny little critters. Okay, you stomp your foot, they kind of run off. They're like Cocker Spaniels. They're not that big. They're not that creepy. But as this nose is traveling down towards the open zipper pocket that I forgot to zip after putting my shoes inside, I slowly sit up and look out the window to about 20 coyotes surrounding our tent. And oh my God, they're all the size of German fucking shepherds. I'm about to die. And this is when I learned that no matter what I do and, how dedicated I am and how long my marriage lasts, I will always be the side chick. Because when I attempted to wake my southern gentleman, thinking, damsel in distress, he will save me, he rolled over and went, huh? There's coyotes surrounding the tent. I went back to bed. Now, I immediately crawled as far away from that open pocket as I could. I kind of looked like a cross between Gollum and a Chihuahua shaking in terror. And some wetness. In the corner of that tent. Horrifying. Horrified. I was getting right with God, Jesus, and my mama. Crying over the fact that I had yet to try deep fried ice cream. And then he sits up and looks at me and goes, wait, really? Yes, we're surrounded. Completely surrounded. I'm crying. People, I'm bawling. We're completely surrounded by coyotes. They're huge and I don't want to die. And it was then that I discovered what I meant by the side chick. Because beside my husband, lovingly laid out in a pillow, gently tucked in, was not one, not two, 5 different types of gun on a pillow with a blanket covering them. If you are in a relationship with a southern man who has a gun fetish, sweetheart, you're the side chick. Fully and completely. You are the side chick. It's okay. I will open a support group if there's enough of you. And he caressed his guns, talked to him in ways he didn't talk to me. I mean, the amount of loving tenderness that he gave those guns was with more care and gentle selection than every position he just put me in for the last 20 minutes. But then all of a sudden, he grabbed a gun, jerked it up, and shot out the tent window that was right by my head. And the coyotes scattered. And I finished peeing. And then as he nestled his gun back onto the pillow and covered it up, he looks at me. What you doing over there? Oh, God, are you scared? It's just a bunch of coyotes. Hell, ain't nothing to be worried about. He tells his gun good night and lays back down. Now, after I changed out of my wetness into some dryness and I went back to bed, I was expecting the rollover. You know, the man feels you get into bed, they roll over, put their arm around you and snuggle you so close against them while having a hand just full of boob. I swear to God, that's their one excuse for a damn good hour-long tit grab when they're cuddling you in bed. Did he do that? Nah. Because he nestled just a little bit closer to his guns and put his arm around his guns. Yes, I will always be second in this marriage. Smith & Wesson comes first, don't you know? Winchester, probably in the first area, you know. But yes, gunpowder, lead, and steel will always come before me. But honestly, that's a good outlet. If he ever really annoys me and pisses me off and I just want him to go the fuck away, honey, did you know Cabela's is having a gun sale? Bye, sweetie. See you in about 4 hours. I'm going to go take a bath. Uninterrupted. And you know, that is something else that I have learned about a southern gentleman. They're like Velcro. You can't get rid of them. Nope. Because I can be taking a bath. Now, it has been a whole hour of preparation for me to get this bath. The kids have a Chinese buffet setting of snacks in front of them. Netflix is on, fully ready to go. I mean, locked and loaded, people. The dog has been put out and brought back in. They are fed. They are watered. The cat is an asshole who tries to kill me on a daily basis. And the husband has been fed. Coddled. Little head pat. possibly have been given a magazine on tools, trucks for sale, boats for sale, or the latest issue of American Hunter. And I go to take a bath. And my fat ass has not touched water before he's in the doorway just, what you doing? What are you doing? Why'd you leave me? You could come out here and sit with me. You ain't got to do that right now. No, honey, I want to take my bath. All right. And he will come in and he will sit on the toilet and talk. Now, I don't mind my husband talking to me. I enjoy our conversations. But when all I want is hot water, candles, wine, and a romance book, I do not want to hear about the latest deer butt plug. I'm telling you, honey, you grab that thing and you shove it in their ass and you twist it a couple times and you pull everything out. You want to see a video? I don't want that. No. I don't want it. And then there is the other aspect of married life with a husband who's from the South. They can control the noises that come out of their mouth, but not the octaves that come out of their mouth, because you have not lived until you announce to your family that you're expecting a baby and your grandmother says, oh, I knew it was coming. I've heard what comes out of that door. Thank you, Nana. Thank you. But I do love my husband. He is my hot mess. I think there's a couple videos that you guys can get a sneak peek at what he looks like. But the other thing about my husband is he is very socially shy until you get him going. And then he starts to sound a little bit like Boomhauer off King of the Hill. It's fascinating, really. But I think the true rabbit hole of the descent of my madness, the epitome of when everything went twisty and sideways, is between my crazy yet oh so secretive teen years, my dating forte into the three breeds of men in my hometown, netting a southern man, was having children. Nothing prepares you. You can read every parenting book known to man. It won't matter, because between the books, the seminars, and everything else, nothing actually prepares you for motherhood. You see, children, if you read the pregnancy books, you will know that stretch marks might be a thing. You will know that, you might gain weight, okay? Stretch marks, some weight, your bellies might not look the same right away, but love yourself. You know what all those books don't tell you about? Is the massacre that is most women's pride and joy of their body. The boobs. People, when I got pregnant, I was so excited because it meant my boobs were going to get bigger. Yes, although I was already rocking a decent set of Baywatch slow motion swingy perks, I was so excited to know that instead of just that one alphabetical numeral, I was going to evolve into a double dose of an alphabetical numeral. I was excited as all hell until my children were born. And they say breast is best. So of course, I dedicated my life, at least 9 months of it till the little fuckers got teeth, to making sure that the milk that came out of these tatas was the best it could be. What I was not told and I was not ready for was what it does to your boobs, people. The one indicating thing, besides the little spawn in my house, is every time I get undressed and I get to look at myself in the mirror, I know I have had children. It's not because of the stretch marks. No, I was a big girl. I already had them. It's not the C-section scar that I rock. No. That is not the horrific reminder that my body was a cafeteria for 9 months on 3 different occasions. Good God, that's 27 months. Oh, girls, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. No, after, you've breastfed for a while, you realize that something is very different about your boobs. What was once symmetrical is now lopsided as hell. What was once perfect and perky and had that slow motion Baywatch run and sway, now flops like paper bags of soggy mashed potatoes. And your nipples look like rawhide twists that a chihuahua has just attacked multiple times, and it's wrinkly and crunchy, and they look like a 75-year-old man's thumbs. Doesn't matter how much exercise you do. Pilates, Taekwondo, spin classes, that will never go back to the way they were, because once upon a time, they were beautiful pink gumdrops. And now it looks like a twisted beaver foot that's been chewed on like a Tootsie Roll. But I survived. But then, another thing that parenting books don't prepare you for is the evolving of your children. And this is where the true madness came in. Because when my oldest was a young thing growing into the wild thing that she is now, she was so calm and quiet. We loved Barbie princess movies, tea parties, and teddy bears. Now my daughter is a pissed off biker in a bar, fighting a trucker with a mean left hook, and an insatiable need to bounce someone's ass into either heaven or hell. I wasn't ready for that. No. That was the beginning of the madness. Because my daughter, if ever given the chance to roast somebody, she will not just roast them, she will drop an atomic bomb on them. I have seen my 17-year-old make grown men weep. And although it is slightly funny and mostly humbling, it's also very scary. And then you have my second child. I was sure when Holly was little that I had finally gotten my princess, because everything was unicorns and butterflies, and we didn't do the princess movie thing, but the tea parties we had with Mr. Teddy. Polite, dignified conversation about how they just don't make toys like they used to anymore. And I am shocked, absolutely shocked at the complete audacity of that young man in that Barbie movie. How could he ever think to compete with the dignified prince? And then Holly evolved, which is where most of my anxiety and my bedwetting come from, because my little Holly is a bit of a sleepwalker who creeps into your room at night and stares into the anus of your soul, cocks her head ever so slightly, and tells you there's a man in your closet, and he doesn't like you, and you need to go back to sleep, before walking to her room and going back to bed. She also once upon a time speared some roadkill with a stick and chased her sister around the backyard with an eyeball. And then you know him and you love him. The final boom, the final descent into the rabbit hole was my son, little D. We say to our children, I hope one day you have a child who is just like you. And you know what? I would have taken it, because I was quiet and I was shy and I never did anything without being told to. I was scared shitless of being in trouble. I barely moved. So had my son been calm and quiet like me, I could have rocked with that. I could have rocked with that, people. But no, I got a garter snake down the back of my pants one day weeding the flower bed. Nope, I got a son who snuck out of the house one day to go roll in the neighbor's swamp. I also found a salamander in his diaper that day. Nope. And the worst part is that my son has the leadership skills to rein his sisters into his chaos. Picture this. This is what I go through when my 3 kids put their heads together. Okay? Picture this. It's a perfect summer day. Perfect pool summer day. And you're in the zone. You got the umbrella up, a table full of snacks, and even though you're self-conscious as hell, you put on a bathing suit. And you get into the pool with your kids. And you're jumping around and you're splashing, and your oldest one refuses to come into the pool because she wants to sunbathe. Because honest to God, Mom, if I have to look at the white that is your body without some tan, I won't exist anymore. Apparently, to my daughter, I looked like an open can of tuna. White, flaky, slightly oily. Well, thank you, sweetheart, for that. I use baby oil to moisturize with. But yeah, thank you for comparing me to some frickin' bumblebee. I love you too. So Bonnie is sitting off to the corner and she has her phone up. She is laughing hysterically. And my 2 little ones keep encouraging me to jump out of the water to try to get them. But I'm not allowed to catch them. I'm just allowed to continuously jump out of the water. And I just was not getting it. I really, really wasn't. Okay? Because I thought we were having fun. I thought this is one of those, Mom, you're the best mom ever. You know, you gave birth to us. You gave us life. You nearly got ripped from the vag to the chocolate badge, bringing us into this world, and we love you. You're such a fun mom. No. Because when those 3 put their heads together, I am pretty sure even the horsemen of the apocalypse go, oh God, not today. It's not a good day. Fuck no. And go back to whatever they're doing. And I'm pretty sure that most days, as Satan and Loki are at that cafe in Paris putting boysenberry jam on crumpets, and they hear my children put their heads together, they sit there and go, oh God, what idea can we give them? Because as I'm jumping out of the water and I'm having a good time and the little ones are laughing and Bonnie is laughing, what I do not know is that my daughter has taken slow motion video of me jumping around this pool. And she has put the theme song to Free Willy in the background. I'm pretty sure Michael Jackson would be proud to know that all of that artistic talent went to making a video of a fat chick in a black bathing suit jumping around a pool. But see, that's not the only thing that my kids do to me. I can just simply be in my kitchen. And my oldest, that knows no boundaries, will come into that kitchen and smack my butt so hard I damn near drop the frying pan. And every time that happens, I swear to God, somewhere her dad goes, she wants to get romantic. Because next thing I know, he does it in damn near the same spot. And I have a hard time sitting down to work. Or maybe, just maybe, I am completely batshit crazy because Holly has became a complete fangirl of Miss Temperance Brenner in the series Bones. Shout out to you. And lets me know that, you know, Mom, scientifically and medically, there's 2 vertebrae in your body that if I poke it with a knife, you won't be able to move, but I can get information out of you. Maybe that's why I'm crazy. Or maybe the true descent into the rabbit hole of fuckery that you are all beyond privileged to watch me go through. I mean, people, come on, we're graying and balding. Help me, Jesus. Is the fact that between the husband, the 3 kids, the dogs, the 3 cats, and my grandmother, my legal obligation to my job, is my ever plummeting hope that one day I will come home and it'll be a normal day. A day without cat litter in my sneakers. A day where I can take a shower without the curtain flying open and my daughter going, "Mom, what are you doing? Look at you, you beefcake." Yeah, or maybe, it'll be that one time that I go to the grocery store and my oldest doesn't chase me screaming if I need the douche or the Vagisil. Or, maybe it'll be when Holly doesn't jump out of some crevasse in the house and scare me into throwing the laundry basket into the window. Holly is a very skinny child, so she can squeeze that little body into places that I wouldn't think she could. And you have not lived until you're struggling to carry a load of laundry, and all of a sudden, from some little nook and cranny, something reaches out and grabs you. Not to mention, she also has a flair for makeup, so when you stop and you turn, it looks like Satan himself is grinning at you, wiggling his tongue at you. You throw the laundry freaking everywhere, and you fall. And you wet yourself, so you have to redo the laundry. Or maybe, just maybe, it's the fact that, my grandmother attempts to keep current on current times, and sometimes the show she's watching is making me go, because it's a teenager confessing to her parents all the things she did, including using her dad's needle nose pliers as redneck roach clips, or how she snuck out of the house. Quite frankly, I'm waiting for someone, that I know that was witness to some of my debauchery, bringing me on to, as my grandmother says it, the Dr. Phil, and exposing some of the dumb things we did in an attempt to win her parents' love, or an ex-boyfriend, or just to clear the air. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to be crazy, be crazy. If you're going to be insane, be insane. But no matter what you do, at the end of the day, have fun with your life. Because I have had a lot of fun with mine. Yes, some of it I don't remember. Some of it involved waking up in a field holding a bottle of vodka, wondering where in God's name is the nearest house I need to perform a check-in with my grandmother. Because I'm supposed to be at church camp. Maybe it's looking at a doctor after, she tells you, "Oh, you're having another one. Oh, it's a boy." And you immediately grab her lab coat and go, "Listen, rip all of it out. As soon as the baby's out, you rip out my uterus. You stomp on it. You burn it. You pee on it. And then you bag it and tag it and get rid of it." Looking back, and just now as I say that, as crazy as all of my kids are, I think I should be very thankful. And this may be the only time that I say it. Thank God for PCOS and my struggles to not only get pregnant, but stay pregnant. Because if I had gotten pregnant as much as some of my friends did, I cannot imagine what would have happened. The first child is sarcastic and sassy. The second child is a little bit morbid, but happy. And the third child is completely crazy and likes to further spiral my descent into madness. But this is the first time I'm doing this. Yes, I might have got off the topic. We might have went in a couple little rants there. But I'm slightly nervous. It's also very cold out. So from me to you, and I hope you've enjoyed. I love each and every one of you. Maybe one day we can do this someplace other than the car. And maybe there'll come a point in time when I can just truly confess to all the stupidity, madness, wildness, and slightly illegal things that I've done without worrying about my phone ringing and hearing my first, middle, and maiden name. From me to you guys, I hope you enjoy.